Hello.
Hello. You want to introduce yourselves and what you do in the band? What band are you?
Eternal Crypt. That's who we
You want
are.
to start left to right?
Yeah, let's start over here.
let's
Eternal
start
Crypt.
over
I'm Eddie. I play guitar.
I'm Alex. I play drums.
Caitlin, I play keys.
I'm Zane. I do guitar and lead vocal.
Matt, I play bass and backup vocal.
And how long has Eternal Crypt been a thing?
Eternal Crypt started out in my head around 2013. So it's been about 10 years now that I had the main idea for it. And I started making demos around 2015. And then we released our first record in 2018.
And then COVID.
And then COVID, yeah. 2018, and then COVID hit, and then we started playing shows again. And then our keyboard player, we lost him in 20. Good God, was that last year?
That was last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2022.
2022, and that really set us back, of course. But we pulled ourselves back up about 6 months later, and we're playing live again, and it's good to be live.
It is. It's
All
great.
right. And how many people here were in the original lineup?
Just Matt and I.
Yeah, I guess. If you can count me as an original member.
Yeah.
Right, did it start off as a solo project type of thing?
It started out as a solo project,
Okay.
yeah. And then in 2015, the first incarnation, Matt was in that, because with some friends that I met at FLCC, and then that kind of fell apart with that lineup until about 2017-ish, when we reformed with Mike Adams.
Yeah.
And
you
Eddie.
tracked everything on the debut album.
Yeah. So for the debut album, it was basically me playing guitar, keys, and doing the vocals, and then just having Mike come in for the drum tracks. And then as I was throwing that together, I was trying to put together a live band so that we could play a debut show with not just me and Mike, but with the full band together. We originally backtracked keyboards for that show. I think we only played 2 shows with that lineup.
I think it was either 2 or 3. I think it was just 2.
Yeah.
'Cause it was our debut, it was our first show, and then it was, I think, the Tyranitar CD release that we also played, and I think those
Yes.
were the only 2 shows.
And then after that, James joined us, and then COVID hit. And then after COVID hit, Mike left, and we got Alex. So
Banana Man.
So yeah, by that time it was the same lineup, except with James on keys, and we played a handful of shows. And yeah,
We've played 4 shows with Caitlin? 5 shows? Is it more than
At
that?
least
More
at
than
least
that.
5.
Yeah.
We've been playing a lot since January. We played
We've
1 in
played shitload of
January, 1 in
shows.
February. I think 2, at least 2, if not 3 in March,
Oh, yeah.
and then 2 in May. So that's 6.
We play a lot of shows.
yeah,
Yeah. So this would be our 7th, I guess.
yeah. We kind of dove in headfirst this year to be like, all right, we're back. Let's distract ourselves and play some music.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we're probably gonna take a break around the summertime though, and then start trekking our second full-length record, which was technically the first record I wrote for the band.
Yeah.
I demoed that album back in 2015 with the first lineup of the band, just me and a drum machine.
Yeah, it still sounds weird for you to call that our second album, because that's
Yeah.
the first album to me.
Because those are the first songs I wrote for that band. But when the band fell apart, when I wrote Loneliness of the Wolf, I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll try to write some songs that are easier to learn, which ended up not being a thing.
No, not at all. I had a month to learn all those fucking songs.
You learn them really fast, though. You're a fast learner.
Well, you're a good teacher.
Well, Eddie's an extremely fast learner on guitar.
I was happy to offer my services to my buddy.
Yeah.
I needed a guitarist to play some hard shit.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna record that later this year.
So it's all written because they were old songs.
Yeah, I have the demo dated back in 2015, so they're like,
But you're reworking them, I assume.
yeah, rewriting.
In fact, one of the songs we played tonight is from that
Yeah,
album.
Which song was that?
It was the
Divine-
very last song we played. It's called Divine Snowfall.
Okay.
right before the
Second to last.
The second to
I'm
last.
sorry, yeah, the second
Yeah.
last
Lady
song.
of the night, dude.
Yeah.
Get your shit straight.
Yeah, we've been playing that one pretty much every show.
Yeah.
That one's a fun
I
one.
love playing It is a
That
fun one.
and Lady of the Night are
Lady
really
of the
fun.
Night is my favorite one to play. Hands
For
down.
sure.
I love the beginning of it. It's just so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that album, there's a lot more of a young energy of like high energy that needs to come out. I kind of the influences are more apparent, which, you know, give or take, it could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, but you know, the songs still hold up to some extent, and the lyrics still ring true for the feelings of what they meant to be back then.
Now, what are your lyrics about?
So that particular album goes through the stages of grief from start to finish, of like which is kind of like a ironic at this point. At the time I wrote it about like the grief of losing my old religion of my past that I grew up with, and like the grieving process of the denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and then finally acceptance of life outside of losing that piece of myself that was the most important thing to me at some point in my life. Whereas and then the big irony of it was, of course, last year we lost James, and he rewrote a lot of the keyboard parts for it. So it's going to be difficult going back to recording that, going through actual stages of grieving James, while trying to get through those songs. So it's going to be a little too real.
Yeah.
But they deserve to be alive, and James's last work deserves to be preserved.
Right, yeah.
People want to hear it. He would be pissed at us
Yeah.
if we never released that.
What about the album you have out already? Where did the lyrics from that come from?
Loneliness of the Wolf. It, funny enough, I wrote that because I sort of became a lone wolf again, being like the solo project writer when the band fell apart. So that was kind of me saying, like, I'm going to take the reins again, and I'm going to make this a band. This is going to happen, despite the lack of colleagues to bring it together. So it was kind of like that. It was also kind of other things loosely based off of things going on in my life, but I try to write vague enough so it could appeal to whatever the listener wants to interpret it as.
I believe when Rick Horton gave me that CD the first time, I put it in and I was like, this is awesome. He's like, it's one guy. I'm like,
Yeah.
why is it one guy?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, just me and then
Luckily.
me, a drummer, and then also a friend of mine played flute on it, Yuan. She lives in China now. She used to go to school at RIT, and then she moved to the Czech Republic to go to college there, and now she's in China. Yeah.
All right. Now you're also in Gates of Paradox.
Yes.
Is that the only other band you're in?
I'm also in Acrolasia.
Oh, okay.
These two are also in Gates of Paradox.
Yep.
Okay, well that was going to be my
Gates are
next
like
question.
the same people, but with like a different bassist and a new singer.
Are you in any other bands? Yeah.
Me? Yeah, I'm also in Polybius.
Oh, okay.
There's some other projects that I've been
I thought you were in
into.
Polybius.
Yeah.
What are they done? Because I thought Bushy
No.
said they were
We're
done.
kind of
It's-
like on a hiatus. We're
Okay.
in a similar boat to what he was just talking about, of like kind
An
of
in-between state.
figuring
Okay.
out the live aspect.
We're coming
of
back.
It, but
Okay, cool.
Don't worry about it.
Because I saw you once and loved it, and then I said to Bushy,
I love
I'm
it too.
I'm like, Bushy, you need to bring this band up. He's like, okay, and then next thing I know, he's like, they're done.
just
No.
obligatory big things coming soon for that band. Just
Okay,
keep on the
awesome,
lookout.
awesome. And you said you're in other bands too?
I've been invited to do other things, but it's not official yet. So
okay.
I can't really say much more about that.
Okay, are either of you in other bands other than Gates?
Spaghettify. I'm starting a new band
Yeah.
with this
We're doing
motherfucker.
Oh, that was
The
real.
Banana Man. Yeah, I was not joking. It's going to be spaghetti metal.
That is awesome.
I am Eddie. Spaghetti. Meatballs are ready.
Eddie writes the craziest riffs out of anyone I've ever known.
They're very weird.
Like the biggest thing that I could say about Eddie is the first time I played guitar with him, he was the first person who really like challenged me to be like,
Oh, shit.
I can't play like that.
I felt the exact same way about you. You pushed me.
Yeah.
We push each other in different
do.
styles. It's wonderful.
And what about you?
Yeah, I'm in a progressive death metal band called In the Shadows of Giants.
Oh, that's a cool name.
Yeah. I do guitar, vocals, bass, and orchestration, and a ton of other stuff.
So is it mostly just you?
No, it's me. My brother plays drums on it, and our other guitarist's name is Tim. He lives in Fort Wayne, Indiana. But Tim and Zane are the best guitarists I've ever had the pleasure of working with, so I feel very privileged.
Tim is basically John Petrucci.
More or less.
Very practiced. I've never heard him make a mistake.
Yeah.
So do you do live shows? Or?
Yes, yeah, we just played in Rochester about 3 weeks ago. We played in Cleveland, Ohio, and then we played in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And we do a handful of shows a year, but with Tim living a few states away, it's hard to do regular shows.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But we do have an album out called The Quiet World. It came out in 2021.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Where'd the name Eternal Crypt come from?
It kind of comes from like a description of hell, I guess. I mean, that's like kind of like the most basic metal thing you could do. But it, or the afterlife is the Eternal Crypt. Yeah, the tomb you cannot escape.
Right. What have been your favorite shows you've played with the band?
I mean, just fresh out of my mind, the Mind Over Metal that we played was one of the best ones that we played.
Yeah.
Wow.
At the House of Guitars.
Wow, that means a lot to me.
Also, just like the first show we played, like the first show we played with James, the first show we played with Caitlin. So like the first and like the Mind Over Metal, I'd have to say.
The last show with James was really good at fucking Photo
Yeah,
Oh my
that
God,
was a
yeah.
fucking-
That was an
I
amazing
remember
night too,
you
just
fucked up and
overall.
he thought I fucked up.
Yeah.
That was the last conversation I ever had with him.
And
He thought I fucked up. And
it's
he
also,
knew. I held it together, Zane.
it's also worth mentioning that James said, that was the last show he ever played in his life. He
What
said
was it? Oh.
that was the best he's heard those Crypt songs. The best incarnation of those Crypt songs.
It was such a
Live or
good show.
recorded or otherwise.
It was
Yeah.
wonderful.
He was happy with it.
Yeah.
So
And he fucking slayed too, man.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Beast. Ah.
What show is this?
This was
Photo City.
It was this
It was
Photo
the
City-
Polybius
Yes.
send-off
Okay.
show.
Yeah, I was at that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were just about to go on tour, and like
Yeah.
that was
Oh,
such
yeah.
a fucking good night because Crypt opened,
Yeah.
and then I think we went on
Displacer was
Displacer,
Yeah.
and then we went on last, and just I don't know, seeing. I'll never forget like James was like right in front of me the whole time and just like watching my hands, and I've always looked up to him as a musician, and I was always like. I always respected him so much, and like to see him just like headbang and like go really hard and just like being into what I was doing, I was like, fuck yeah, like I don't care if no one's here, and like James is like happy with it, like that's
Fuck
all I
yeah.
wanted. And then after the show, he like we had a conversation. He was just being like super supportive about Polybius, and he was just saying like how, you know, just keep going, like you guys are gonna go far, and you know, we'll see you in a month.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know. That was like a perfect night with him, and it's like bittersweet to like think about those last
Yes.
moments, because like, you know, we don't have them, and you know, the only reason I'm fucking in this band is because of all that shit, and it's weird and hard and difficult, and at the same time, it's like brought a lot of love out of us, I think too.
Yeah.
It's
The
a
shoes fit you
bowl
nicely,
of emotions.
The shoes fit you nicely, bud.
I think about James every time we play, and I just like hope that, you know, we
I
can
think
do
he'd be
justice.
proud.
Yeah,
He'd be super fucking proud. I think.
All right. Social media. Where can people find your stuff? Where's the best place to follow you?
Facebook.
Facebook,
Yeah, Facebook
just
is really
Facebook.
the only place we update.
We should really,
We really should get on the
We're living in the
Instagram.
Yeah.
we got that.
When I
Nice.
noticed that you guys didn't, that we don't have an Instagram, I was like, what the fuck?
Behind the times, bro.
I usually
Eternal
just-
Crypt Facebook right now.
Yeah, I usually just post the Crypt
Yeah,
stuff to my
literally.
personal
I mean, we're beyond the
Instagram,
future
Yeah.
and Back to the Future now.
which is like my personal
Jesus
Instagram, my
Christ.
studio Instagram,
Back-
the Crypt Instagram.
Yeah.
Really is back to
But we have a Facebook page, and I also share all the Eternal Crypt stuff on the Rochester Steel Collective pages too.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the Rochester Steel Collective on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What
so
about
there's an Instagram channel.
what about music? Where can people buy it?
You can buy it off of Bandcamp, but you can find us on streaming services, Spotify, Apple
And the
Music.
collective website.
And
On
the collect-
YouTube as well.
Yes.
Yeah, if you want to buy stuff, if you want to buy a shirt or a CD, you can pick it up on the Rochester Steel Collective website.
Or if you come out to a show, we still have physical CDs and shirts
Oh, yeah.
and stickers.
That's the best option.
The girls and shows.
At the show.
Come pick it up at the
CDs.
show.
And do you have any shows coming up?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Let's check the calendar.
July 1st, we are playing James's memorial show.
Yeah,
That's one to come out to.
Where is
for
that?
sure.
it's at a lodge somewhere.
It is at a lodge. I think it's going to be at Powder Mill Park, but
I think
I'm
it's
not.
Genesee Valley Park.
Genesee Valley Park.
Message one of us or message the band page, and
Yeah.
we'll let you know what the address is.
Well, I think there's a flyer for it, isn't there?
There's a flyer. The flyer says ask a performer.
Oh, does it?
I don't
Okay.
know why I didn't make the flyer.
That was a
Just
very
be
hard
put on
show
the
to
flyer.
schedule.
Do we have other ones in July?
We have that August 11th.
Yeah,
show.
August 11th, we're playing again with our friends in Averst from Boston. They're
Yes.
a fantastic band. We had the pleasure of playing with them
They're incredible.
at Bug Jar.
Yes.
When was that? Was that in November?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
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 Or
No,
no?
wait,
wait.
I'm sorry. That was Was it April? March?
It was.
It had to
Don't
be
ask me for
January
any-
or after.
Don't ask me for
It
any
was.
dates.
It was after November because
Good Lord.
I remember the milestone of Kaylee and I were dating by that point.
That's right. That's right. Yeah,
did at some
we
point.
played with them before.
Yeah, I was there. They
welcoming them back.
that was a great lineup because
they're
it was
terrific.
you, Displacer, and them, and that was
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a phenomenal show.
And I believe that's our last show that we have booked so far.
Okay.
We
Yeah.
have Wargo Fest. I think that might be
Wargo
like,
Fest. That's
July
July
5th.
9th.
9th.
Oh, I can't even
Wargo
remember.
Fest.
It's a Paradox has one on the 10th.
Yes, we have one
Come to
next
that one.
Saturday.
Where?
Where is
I
that?
don't fucking know.
Don't you guys have one?
The band page, I guess.
Don't you guys have
I'll ask one of us. I'll find out.
When's that Water Street gig?
The Water Street
Oh.
gig is on the 17th of July, baby.
So that's for
That's
Gates?
That's
Yeah,
for
come to
dates.
that
Paradox
motherfucker.
is going to be a
Water
place for
Street.
Toxic.
We will shred your mind.
Oh, that's right. You're playing with Toxic. Thank you all for coming out and playing.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having
Thank
us
you.
in your beautiful fucking place. It was wonderful.
What a wonderful time.